So there's an interesting situation in Uganda that's happening, and frankly, it's not limited to Uganda. It's happening in various places around the world, which is that states, governments are taking very drastic steps to criminalize gay activity. They criminalize actually being gay, and they criminalize people that associate with gay and lesbian and trans and queer people. And so what that translated into in Uganda was that you could be thrown in jail, and at one point there was a statute that was being considered that you could be executed for either being queer, for having people think that you were queer, for associated with people that were queer, or for being involved in sex activities that are associated with gay and lesbian activities. Jail time. And the reason why this is a U.S. issue in addition to a Ugandan issue is because we found out that there is a evangelical based in Massachusetts named Scott Lively. And Scott Lively, who in addition to writing a book called The Pink Swastika, which, wait for it, blames queer people for the Holocaust. I swear to you, you can look it up and Google it. In addition to doing that, he realized, of course, as a lot of these evangelicals do, that they've lost the gay culture war in the United States. And so they are exporting criminalized frameworks to places like Africa and Central and South America. So Uganda, it's a very religious country. There are a lot of evangelicals there. And so Scott Lively essentially imported the criminalization framework, trained government ministers, trained other evangelicals and proselytizers around this question of this is how you criminalize gay activity, and that's what was happening. So we at the Center for Constitutional Rights used a law called the Alien Tort Statute, which, nerding out for a second, was passed right after the Constitution was amended, was signed in 1789. And that statute allows you to sue in the United States courts if either the victim or the perpetrator of a human rights crime is in the United States. So here we had, we were working with SMUG, Sexual Minorities Uganda, which is a coalition of lesbian and gay groups in Uganda. They were in Uganda. The crimes were happening in Uganda, the criminalization, but the person who was responsible for creating that framework and moving forward those crimes was here in the United States. So we sued him here. What's interesting is that we were successful in that the court in Massachusetts ruled for the first time that persecution against people based on LGBT status is a crime against humanity under international law. So that was our intervention here. So we've worked very closely with Frank Mugisha, with Pepe Onzima, and a number of queer leaders in Uganda on both sides of the issue. They were moving their strategies with Ugandan officials, and we were moving a legal strategy against the U.S. people who were formulating those strategies.